Hey guys, so I received this quick download and it said that mm, our soul can disconnect from our body, right? Um, so if you heard of the saying, battle of the souls, that the devil and the God are battling for our souls, right? It's actually not what you guys think. It's more a battle for the body, um because they don't want the shadow doesn't the darkness doesn't want the soul to operate through the body. It it it, it doesn't want the soul here, basically, is the message. It wants to stay soulless, okay, and here on earth, right? So the soul doesn't go to hell. A soul always returns to the main source, aka heaven, right? As we call it. Um, but these dark entities, because it is the energy, right? It doesn't have a mass. It needs a body. It needs a vessel to operate through, and it has two missions. It it wants to destroy the body, and it wants to destroy through the body. So it wants to destroy the body it's operating through, and it wants to cause as much damage as it can to other to other people, um, while it's operating through somebody's body. And I think coma is something that's like closest to it. If you think of somebody being in coma, their soul, their consciousness leaves their body, right? And it goes and travels, right? Meanwhile, the body is still plugged into life support. And that's why you hear a lot about, near death experiences, or people having encounters, afterlife encounters with angels or ancestors or God, source. But yeah, the download that I received was about an early trauma. Um, so the darkness wants to, the earlier it can access the body, the better it is for it, because it will have the more time to operate in it, and it will also try to destroy it earlier. Um, because the soul is the light, right? The soul is part of God, and everything else is godless, right? So when the soul disconnects from the body, and it doesn't disconnect completely, because it is still a life force, right, for the body. Um, but it disconnects to a certain degree where it goes elsewhere. It's not actually connected. It's not integrated in the human body when it disconnects. Um, that will give an access to other entities to come and work through that body. Um, and the way they do it is they're trying to get in as early as possible. So in early years, through some sort of trauma, because soul can't stand it can stand trauma to a certain degree. It depends on the strength, I guess, or the experience of that particular energy. But especially when it happens in early age, That's when a lot of they say that's when a lot of like disorders are being born on, or that's when the mental illnesses are being formed. But what is actually happening is it is this dark consciousness entering the body and the mind, and it starts influencing the body and the mind, and it starts pushing the soul out of the body. Okay. And you may ask, can it be healed? You can always call your soul back. You can always call your soul back. So let's say if you see a lot of people doing really bad things, right? It is a sign of a soul disconnect. Because a soul, it is not evil. A soul is not evil, okay? A soul is God consciousness, part of God consciousness, right? Part of God's energy. So it is progressive, it is expanding, it is always growing, right? Expanding. And the darkness is basically destructive side of it. If the soul is constructive, if the God is constructive, the darkness is destructive, right? It's pro-death. If God is pro-life, the darkness is pro-death and destruction, right? So that's why we see, for example, a lot of that's why we see a lot of, like, let's say young people, committing suicide or ODing, because there's been this disconnect, soul disconnect, and the last part of the soul that's in the body wants to go back home, right? So because it cannot, it feels like it's living in hell through that body, because there's not enough light in that vessel, there's not enough God in that vessel. So it's really that simple. Either your body is embodying God, or it's not embodying God, right? Or it's embodying very little, right? Only the necessary life force so that you can breathe and walk and do things, right? But it is not pro-life at that point. So that's why, you guys, if you want to expand and call back your soul, first of all, what I'm hearing is it's very important that you guys drop addictions, okay? Drinking, smoking, drugs, even some prescription medications can cause that. Especially psychoactive prescription medications can cause that. And yeah, of course, water is life, sun is life, nature is life, nutrition, exercise, positive thoughts, consciously blocking darkness, consciously praying over your body and your soul, staying close to God, right? And staying away from evil, right? I just heard porn for somebody, okay? Staying away from these evil portals or evil entities, evil influences, right? Staying away from hatred, right? Not holding hatred in your heart, right? Releasing it or transmuting it, right? Alchemizing it, right? And embodying more love, right? Embodying more kindness, embodying more empathy, compassion, and understanding, right? But it's very important to protect yourself and your bodies, Okay. And I literally just heard something about sexual intercourse. So just think about that too, because when you let somebody, especially as a female, when you let somebody in your body, that can set you off, right? So yeah. Okay. Um, I literally just heard something about the baby, a baby being born, like a baby entering, a new soul entering the body when a mom becomes pregnant, may reconnect mom back to her soul. If a woman is suffering from this, um, if a woman becoming more soulless, her embodying a new soul will reconnect her to the source and to the body. What I just heard. Okay. Okay, this is all. I know this is so random and I'm not quite sure why this is coming through right now, but maybe somebody needed to hear this. If this is you, let me know. I love you so much, you guys, and God loves you even more. Bye.